What's up, everybody? Coach Ceelo here, and welcome to my 11th episode. 11 episodes already? Man, it's gone like this. Anyway, episode 11, step 4 in the sales process, and today we're going to be going over the agenda. What is the agenda? All right. The agenda is when you tell the person the order of events of everything that's about to happen in your sales presentation. There's many reasons why to do it. In most cases, you want to do this in your sales presentation. There are certain products and certain presentations where you can skip it altogether. If you're doing it over the phone, obviously you got to do it a lot shorter. If there was already if they already know what they were expecting because it was already an appointment that was set and you're visiting them, that kind of changes the whole sequence. But basically, it's the order of events. It's known as the order of events, the order of the day, the agenda. You're letting them know what you're going to be doing. Now, why do it? A few things. You guys have heard me talk about task tension before and how in a presentation, there's certain moments when you want to raise the task tension and certain moments when you want to lower it, right? Well, the agenda reduces task tension while preparing them for a raising of task tension afterwards. Because guess what? After this, you're going to be talking about how we do business, right? And there's several things involved in that. But what I mean by how we do business is you're going to set the parameters of what the expectations are during the presentation and at the end of the presentation, which is to leave with a sale. So you're basically later, not now, but later, you're going to be telling them that you're going to be making a decision. And so guess what? That's going to raise the task tension. But this reduces it because it's letting them know step by step exactly what's going to happen. First, we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. It also increases your credibility by something that is known as tell and show. Now, you guys may remember when you were kids, they used to have show and tell in school, right? Where you would show something and then tell them about it and explain it or give a presentation or whatever. Well, in sales, we do the opposite. It's called tell and show. You tell them something, and then you show them something to back it up. You tell them what you're doing, and then just by default, as you're doing it, you're showing them, hey, this guy told me that after this, we were going to do this other thing, and that's exactly what happened. And then he told me he was going to ask me questions, and that's exactly what happened. And so you're building micro credibility with them here, right? Because everything that you said you're going to do, you are now following up and doing. And by the way, aside from building micro credibility, because you're doing it in these little chunks, subconsciously, what are you also doing? You're creating that belief that, hey, everything they say they do, therefore everything else that they say they are going to do. And so now that micro credibility becomes part of the macro credibility of the presentation. Also, you're removing surprises from the equation. Guys, nobody likes to be sold. I've said that a million times. Everybody likes to buy. Nobody likes to be sold, right? So you're removing the surprises of telling them, hey, look, this is what I'm going to do. This is how, and I'm going to give you guys some examples. Don't worry, right? But I'm just saying, you're letting them know what the flow is so there's no surprises. And if there is a raise in task tension, it's because you wanted it there. Remember, everything that you do in a presentation is there for a reason. Everything that you say is there for a reason. Everything that you're wearing is there for a reason. If you're having them come visit you at your office, the way you have it staged is there for a reason. And so therefore, the order of how you set your presentation specifically is done, and maybe not you, but if you're someone like me that literally creates sales presentations out of nothing, or you're working for a company that's already handing you a sales presentation that works. That's the important part, because a lot of places have ones that don't work and then they need somebody like me to come fix it. Then guess what? That's already thought of. You don't have to worry about if I'm raising task tension or I'm lowering task tension. I'm just telling you guys this so some of you understand what's happening behind the scenes. But a well thought out sales presentation already has that taken into account. And if you're just following the steps, then you are creating and lowering task tension in the moments and the places where that needs to happen anyways, right? And so no surprises. Also, it establishes a rhythm and a flow. Hey, first we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do that. Now, I'm making this sound just like every other one of my podcasts. I'm making this sound a lot longer than what it is. This is actually going to be fairly short, right? It's going to be a brief amount of time, but I'm explaining this so you guys understand the process, right? You're establishing the rhythm and the flow because you're creating a cadence of first, I'm going to do this, and then we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to talk about that, and you're creating that flow. You're also taking control of the presentation and letting them know what the parameters are. So, for example, if I am leading somebody into my office, and it's a husband and wife, or it's business partners, or whatever the case may be, as soon as I bring them into my office, and I'm like, hey, guys, welcome to my office. Have a seat here, have a seat here. I'm telling them where to sit in a very respectful way. You don't realize what I'm doing, but I'm setting the pace already that I am leading. And if you've got an alpha, they're going to fight it a bit, and that's okay. That creates the friendly tug of war that I was telling you guys before, right? A friendly tug of war. It's almost like when you're flirting, right? You give a little, you take a little. You give a little, you take a little. So you're taking control of the presentation, letting them know what the parameters are. And like I said before, not all types of presentations are going to need an agenda. But if you can fit it in, then do it. Because like I told you, it will do wonders for the task tension and also for setting the pace of everything that's coming. Now, a few ways to introduce it. You know, depending on what product and whether it was in person or on the phone, some of the things I would say is, let me share with you what we're going to be doing today. You know, if it was their first time being exposed to my business or what I do or what we do in general, and they don't, you know, chances are they don't know what this is all going to be about, I'd actually pace them a little bit. I'm like, you're probably wondering what we're going to be talking about, right? Or you're probably wondering what we're going to be doing today, right? Let me share with you what we're going to be doing today. And then I'd go into it. Now, if it's on the phone, you don't have that kind of time or luxury to do that, you know? That's going to be a shorter sales call. You need to get through things quick. So in those cases, I jump right into it and I'd be like, what we found works best on these calls is boom, 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 boom. And now you're leading them through the agenda. Now, let's go back to what I just said a few minutes ago. What if you have somebody that's giving you resistance? First of all, if they're giving you resistance this early in, you've got a ball buster. They're already wanting to bust your balls, either because they're an alpha and they don't want to be told what to do, or if it was the type of presentation that you were enticed to sit in a presentation, they're trying to bust your balls to get you off your game. So you got to kind of figure this out really, really quick. Because if you're like, well, just get to the point, or just tell me how much it costs, you're going to get that. And they're purposely trying to get you out of your rhythm. They know that you've got a rhythm, but they don't know what it is. Or maybe it's somebody that's already involved in sales. So they kind of already know, you know, at least a general idea that you have a sales process and you'll be doing something, right? So when I get somebody that does that and they tell me, well, just tell me how much it costs at the very beginning, like you already know they're trying to bust your balls, I'll just look at them and I will say a crazy number. Now, I usually like to range it, right? And I'll say, oh, anything between $10,000 and $300,000, how much were you thinking of doing today? right there. Call them on their bluff. Call them on their bluff. They weren't expecting that. They were expecting to take you out of your box. And what you did is you took it, you porcupined it basically. You took it and you threw it right back. So just tell me how much it costs. Sure, anywhere between $10,000 and $300,000. Where do you want to go from there? What do you want to purchase? And then you'll see them start backing up and saying, wait a minute. I don't even know about the product. I don't even know what we're done. And that's why we have a 40-minute presentation. That's why we have an hour-long presentation. That's why we have a 90-minute presentation or a 30-minute presentation. That's why we set an appointment, both of our valuable times, so that we can sit here and I can explain to you. I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Let me go through the whole process. I promise you that by running all of this by you, I'm going to answer 90% of your questions. And then when we get to the end, we can save the questions to the end. Anything I haven't answered by then I'll go ahead and answer. Fair enough? Listen, they're trying to come and shit on your table. Don't ever let somebody come and shit on your table. If they're trying to bust your balls, they already think that they know everything they need to know about your product. So you need to do something that'll catch their attention. That's one of the things I've done in a presentation sometimes. I don't do it aggressively, but that noise will make somebody look and it'll break their pattern. It's called a pattern interrupt. It'll break their pattern of thinking because they're behaving in a way that's kind of asshole-ish, right? It's not conducive. Like, why would you want to listen to me talk about a product and yet you don't want to listen to what I'm going to say? That doesn't make any sense, right? And so you've got to take control of that situation and let them know that you're the professional, that you've got all the information they need, and they're going to listen to you because they booked your time. So just tell me how it costs. Like I said, anywhere between 10 to 300. Now I'm using that number, but it could be anything. But make sure that it's big. It's really big enough to drop their jaw because you want them to be like, what the hell? I don't know. That's what you want them. You want them to admit to themselves that they don't know because it makes the croc brain realize, wait a minute, if it's something that we don't know, here's what the croc brain does when it receives information. It deletes, distorts, or disregards if it feels that it already knows what the information is. So every time that something happens, the croc brain is like, do I want to mate it? Do I want to eat it? Or can it kill me? If any one of those three things are happening, the cortisol goes up, your heart starts beating faster, and you have hyper focus and you're paying attention. That's why you raise test tension sometimes. You want them to pay attention. If they don't feel like that, if they feel like they know everything, you're walking in through a door. What do? You grab the door and you open it. Why? Because millions of times before, every time you've seen a door, you know that if you grab that doorknob and you open, you'll be able to walk through. It's not something new. The brain doesn't need to go through that process every time it looks at a door. So that's how the brain works. Delete, distort, disregard. So if they're coming to you with that kind of attitude, you got to break that pattern immediately and then say something a little shocking, like I did with the price range, right? So you're going to do a price range and then you're going to loop it back. Sometimes you'll get them to do something a little different, or they'll come up with something different. Well, just tell me what I need to know, or just get to the point. Okay, sure. What do you know about XXX, whatever it is that you're selling? Let's say you're doing a personal development program. What do you know about our personal development program? Well, I'm sure it's just like no. What do you know about our program? Or what do you know about the effects and the benefits and the features and everything of personal development in general? And then once they tell you, sometimes that's enough to take them off of their track, and then they'll settle down. But if not, basically what you're going to do is you're going to outshark them in your knowledge. You're going to show them that you are an expert in your field, and you're going to ask them something that's going to make them feel stupid, absolutely stupid. Now, I'm not trying to insult anybody, just the opposite. I'm trying to help them. But the only way I can help them is if they listen to me. So I have to say something that gets them to admit that they don't know. And once we've gotten to that part or that moment where they realize they don't know, now their focus comes in and now they're listening to me. So that's the most important. Let me give you guys some ideas of like an agenda. All right. So when I was in the travel business and I would be meeting a couple in, timeshare, and I was selling it, I was like, we're going to be talking about vacations. You guys surprised? Giggle, giggle, We're going to talk about where you want to go, what you want to do, what's important to you in terms of vacationing, hopes, dreams, aspirations, that kind of stuff. And based on that, I'll customize something to fit your needs. Fair enough? Then I'm going to introduce you guys to one of my team leaders here. I'm a talker. I'm really good at talking. They're good at numbers. They're going to handle all the finance and all that stuff. What am I saying? We're going to be talking about finance later because I'm going to sell you, right? Then I'm going to answer any questions you may have, if indeed there's an interest. Now, this is kind of getting into the second part. This is going to get into what we're going to be talking about in the next episode. But the bottom line is, give them an agenda. Set the pace. Set the tone. Don't let them shit on your table. Smile. Be polite. You don't have to deliver any of this aggressively. All you've got to do is be able to maintain control. And if you do it right, you'll be able to set the rhythm. You'll be able to set the cadence. You'll raise your credibility. And you'll set yourself up for a sale. Guys, my name is Coach Ceelo, and I have helped countless of other salespeople reach, break through, and maintain six figures. You keep listening to me, and you'll be the next.